Thank you for joining me for this video, for this reaction. Thank you for checking out my channel. Check out my Patreon if you want to see this stuff a bit earlier. In this video, I'll be checking out. This is Calmtown Adams Lyft ride with a feminist podcaster, man. This can't be good, man. This can't be good. It's going to be awkward if it actually happens. I don't know. This might be a bit, but if it actually happened, this might get awkward considering the kind of content that that the two entities put out. You have Adam from Calmtown, and then you have this feminist podcaster. So the kind of content they both put out is very, very, very polar opposite of each other, man. And it will get uncomfortable for someone in this ride. So this is from Spamani, and yeah, I will leave a link if you want to go check out the original video. Shout out Spamani, and without further ado, man, let's just jump into the video. Let's go.
I made a lady in a Lyft almost cry today.
Why?
All right, so I was in the Lyft today, and they talk to you here, not like in New York where they leave you alone. And the guy said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "I'm here to do a podcast, to record a podcast with my friends." So the lady sitting next to me said, so anyway, this lady said, "What's it called?" And I said, I don't know. It's a comedy podcast. I didn't want to say Calmtown because she was not the demo. She said, "Oh, well, the reason I ask is because I have a podcast. It's a politics podcast." So I said, "Oh, that's cool. I have a couple friends that have a politics podcast called the Chapo Trap House." And then she started...
So you name dropped Chapo Trap House?
In a Lyft.
In a Lyft.
To strangers? You fucking loser.
Nerd.
I know. She asked what it was called, and I said Chapo Trap
No, that's
House.
not how you told the story.
Well, I
just now.
wanted to make the story quicker. I didn't want to...
Why the fuck would you ever try to make anything quicker on this podcast?
Okay. So
Yeah.
she said to me that...
They keep using this image of this chick. Let me know if this is someone that is somehow associated with Adam, or if this is someone famous that a lot of people know, because they keep reusing her face. She might be someone that I should know. Let me know.
They are horrible people. So I said, quicker. I didn't want to...
Why the fuck would you ever try to make anything quicker on this podcast?
Okay.
Yeah.
So she said to me that they are horrible people. So I said, well, I think they're pretty nice. They're, friends of mine. I don't think they're so horrible.
Okay, so you're trying to have sex with
So
this
she
woman,
said-
it backfires.
So you pull your cock out
Well,
and you're
first
like,
of all-
I know Will Menaker.
Yeah.
No, I was
Please
not.
suck my dick. I know Felix.
No. Anyway, so
I text Amber sometimes.
she said they're horrible people, and I said, well, I don't think they are. And she said they have coordinated harassments on people on the internet, and they target women and persons of color. So I said, I don't think that's true. I think, you could disagree with someone without it being about, their ethnic or sexual identity. And she proceeded to get really upset at me. And then at a certain point just started shouting, this conversation
Bon
is over.
intro.
Anyway, so she got quite upset at me. And the end of the story is that then I tried to apologize because she was upset. I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And I said, I'm a pretty nice person. I don't think I woke up today trying to make someone that I don't know upset. And she said, that's the problem. That's the problem. You're a good guy, aren't you? And I said, yeah. She's like, that's the problem. You can't even understand. And I was like, I really don't.
Understand what? That your life is being made worse by a podcast? You don't understand what it's like to be an irrational fucking retard like me who screams at strangers in Uber pools.
So anyway.
Jesus fucking Christ. I wish I had been in that car.
I know. Imagine if
Yeah, Nick would have destroyed this chick, man. I can't even begin to imagine the things that Nick would have said to this chick, man. Like, she's so lucky she ran into Adam. because Adam is nice, I guess. I don't think Nick is that way, man. I think Nick would have given it to her, man. Without any mercy, without any she you guys know what I'm trying to say. Nick would have been savage in that situation, I think. Especially if he's like that in real life. If the way he is on the podcast is how he is in real life, this woman would have probably would have just asked the Uber guy to stop so she could just get off, get another Lyft or whatever, man. She's lucky she ran into Adam. That's all I have to say.
She knows Chapo.
Yeah.
She knows us.
Yeah, well, I would have
I
been like,
should've
well,
said
my
calm
podcast, The Daily Show Up.
I totally forget the name. So I forgot the name.
Plus, it's really strange that she would react like this towards someone she's never met before, like a stranger, man. Like, if you're talking to a stranger, the interaction should be very shallow. I feel it's safest that way. If you're talking to someone you don't know, someone you've never met before, someone you just met, someone you don't know much about, the interaction should be very, very shallow. It should not get heated. It should not get very exciting, because it's a stranger, man. The fact that she just runs into someone that she's never met before and she starts almost confronting them on who they are. It's weird, man. It's weird. Like, we don't know each other that well for you to be like, you're a nice guy. You don't understand. Like, bitch, live your life, man. Get out of my existence, bro. Like, I just met you and you're making this you're like nagging, man. Just let's get back to the awkward silence that there was before we started speaking, because that was so much better, man. That was so much better.
And then I was like, just as a matter
I think this is the podcast, a feminist podcast for those who resist and persist. Hellbent. Nope.
of interest, what was the name of your podcast? And she's
Daily Show Up.
I totally forget the name. So I forgot the name of her podcast. And then I was like, just as a matter of interest, what was the name of your podcast? And she's like,
Episode 1, it's Fuck This Shit O'Clock. Hellbent. Devon and Sarah introduce themselves and take a bird's eye view of sexism and misogyny during the 2016 election cycle, focusing on the insidious and often denied gender bias against Hillary Clinton. They make fun of Barney Bros and swear a lot. Okay.
Of course
That's
not.
a good move.
which was probably not a good move because I wanted to look it up.
We
But
would
then-
have we wouldn't have harassed
The end of the story is that the Lyft driver kept throwing his hands up, like, wow, this lady's she's really crazy. And it got really quiet, and I had about 5-10 minutes left in the ride. And just the silence was very awkward. So I just started talking to the driver. And I said, Uber is a lot cheaper here in LA than it is in New York. And he said, well, we're not.
The usual small talk. Better than whatever this chick was on, man. Like, when interacting with strangers, keep that shit shallow. Don't go deep. Don't allow your deep emotions and feelings to come out in your first interaction with a stranger, man. Do that shit around people you know and you're comfortable with. Not with a fucking stranger in a lift. The fact they're even talking to you is because they're trying to be courteous. They're trying to be nice because you started a fucking conversation, man. Some people really take that shit as an invite for conversation. Like, when you meet someone and you sit next to someone and you'll be next to this person for a while, so just throw something out there, to do away with the awkwardness. So you say something like, "How was your day?" Like, "How are you doing?" Or just some random small talk, like the weather today is shit, traffic was a bitch, shit like that. Just for small talk, and then someone takes that as a fucking invite to dive into fucking heavy conversations, man. Like, I'm just trying to break this silence that is a bit awkward because they can't handle the awkwardness of this. For me, I can handle the awkwardness of silence, man. I don't really care. We can sit there and just be on our phones, man. We don't even have to speak. The moment someone feels the need to speak to break the ice, that's when the nightmare for me begins. Because, this person might start just question after fucking question. Like, dude, let's just be on our phones. Let's get where we are going and go our separate ways, man. That's me, you know. But then you have to realize when someone is like, "Hey, you know, nice weather today," small talk, don't take that as a fucking cue for you to just start rattling off, your opinions, your political opinions, what you feel about life and politics and shit. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do that to people you know, man. Not strangers. It's If you're that kind of person, please know that when you do this, it's like you've hijacked someone's day or time, and now they're trapped in this conversation with you that they most likely don't have any interest in being in or in participating in. So don't do that, man. Keep it to yourself. Mind your own business. Leave strangers alone, man. Leave strangers alone.
And so I said to him, well, I deleted Uber because the CEO was sexist to women. And then I got out.
He's fucking
To fuck with the chick. Damn.
still
then
trying
I
to
got
impress
out.
this woman.
No, because I wanted her to feel like I was feel bad, and I think I really got the last word in there, and I think I won the conversation, and that
What was her name?
Oh fuck, I forget.
Because if she has a podcast,
This must be the chick, man. Cause yeah, this must be her. Sarah Lana. Human woman, and I secretly categorize everyone I meet into Harry Potter houses. What is this? It takes to overcome patriarchy, a couple of dragons, and immunity to fire. Oh man, I don't know.
Engage in targeted harassment.
I fucking targeted harassment if you open your goddamn mouth.
That's right.
She bring it upon yourself by go through your Lyft history.
Can I know what her name was?
I don't think it has the people that.
No, it'll just have the driver, but not who you pulled with.
Well,
She
we'll
was,
kinda contact the driver and get him to.
The nice thing about this podcast is because it has Adam on it, he's like just the target for harassment.
Yeah, it's true. I get it from all sides, folks. The right and
First of all,
the
anyone that like
intelligent.
bitches about targeted harassment online is usually the person behind targeted harassment
Yeah.
campaigns. It's the people that try to get people fired, and they're like,
Well,
everybody go after this person.
I brought that up, and I was like, I think I said that this person that does that is maybe a little unhinged, and she's like, you're saying that because she's a woman. I was like, no, I'm saying that because she tweets at people for 12 hours on end.
Oh, who did she bring up?
Sadie.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so
Did she bring her up?
She brought up Sadie, and I was like, well, I think that maybe she's a little unhinged. And she said, obviously you would say that about a woman. And I said, no, I think it's just weird that she tries to get
Yeah.
people
Okay.
fired.
Let's name.
Let me see these tweets, man.
No, I'm saying that because she tweets at people for 12 hours on end.
Oh, who did she bring up?
Sadie.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so
Did she bring her up?
She brought up Sadie, and I was like, well,
Is this Sadie person
I'm
like?
saying that because she tweets at people for 12 hours on end.
Oh, who did she bring up?
Sadie.
This Sadie person is this like Nick's like arch nemesis or something?
Did she?
Sadie, and I was like, well, I think that maybe she's a little unhinged, and she said, obviously you would say that about.
I'm in a lift with a leftist guy who has, in the span of minutes, called women unhinged and then insisted he's a nice guy. Like, this is her life, man. Like, her mission in life. I'm not anti-feminist or anything, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just going to watch this video for what it is and just enjoy the comedy in it. Try not to dive too much into my opinions and stuff, because no one really cares, man. No one really cares. Let's just watch this, enjoy this. I want to get fucking pissed off or wound up by this kind of shit, man. Let's go.
I said, no, I think it's just weird that she tries to get people
okay,
fired.
let's name any woman, and let's see if I call her unhinged. Let's see how many women that applies to.
Dame Judi Dench.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's unhinged.
Unhinged.
Barbara Walters.
My opinion of
Barbara
women in
Wawa.
general is that they're unhinged.
Yeah.
There's not one specific fucking person.
Apparently
Yeah.
she thought that was gendered for me to use the term unhinged, and then after I said
it's
that...
a door. It's it's a door to a bathroom that anyone can use.
An opening that anyone can slide on into.
You know. Just, yeah.
Wow, she really tweeted this interaction with Adam, man. It's basically everything he's talking about on the pod. The CEO of Uber was terrible to women, so I don't use them anymore. She doesn't even realize Adam was trolling her there.
That was
So
my...
you guys fight?
You really can't talk shit on Hillary out here in LA like you could like you can in New
Yeah,
York.
everyone's a moron retard here.
Like especially
I
in-
go around the street, I'm just using gendered slurs left and right, and people are yelling at me and screaming at me and honking their horns.
in a very like you can't, like you were saying earlier, you can't say any movie is bad because like someone might have worked on it.
Yeah.
You know, it's very similar. People are very strategic about.
Yeah, a lot of
their
people have
shit
fucked
talk.
the same children Hillary has over here.
Yeah, it's true.
It's sort of, who knows what kind of Pizzagate parties they're hanging
Well,
out
fuck, I
at.
wonder who that woman was.
I really want to know
It was
now.
Red Kahina, dude.
Hey, welcome to Hellbent, a feminist podcast for those who resist and persist. I'm Devin.
And I'm Sarah.
And we look so good right now.
We look so good, you guys.
He's a fucking dickwad. So.
Yeah. So that could be a dishonorable mention. It could be a tie.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm more inclined to give it to, again, Bernie motherfucking Sanders.
I'm so done with this motherfucker.
You guys, I've really been trying to keep Bernie's name out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Because I would love nothing more than for him to just literally be irrelevant.
That would be amazing.
But you guys, he's back at it again with dickwatery. And again, I want to be on his side.
Yeah.
Like, he has a big platform. It would be
Yeah, I don't want to listen to this, man. Dude, is this video this long? 28 minutes.
Good, like book reading ass water.
Okay, I didn't want to listen to that. I guess I'll go back and find it where the boys are speaking again.
Right.
none of this voters because they
Hey, it's always
you motherfucker.
in New York.
Quick.
Okay, so I'm in a Lyft. I'm going to meet my pal Stavros, come town. And in New York, sorry to do this, Annabelle.
You motherfucker.
In New York, it's just a guy that was from Senegal and doesn't know how he got here, and he leaves you alone, lets you get to your fucking destination. But in LA, it's always like some dude that's probably a failed actor, and he's just like, "So what's your experience with Rideshare?" You know, which is just like, oh, it's like, "Hey, I'm Damien, triple threat. I don't know if you saw, I'm a 4.9, but an LA 10."
The way you
get rid of that is you start telling them the truth about Syria. That's what I do in every car that I'm in. But in LA, they won't talk to you.
So he's like, what, this guy's like, what are you doing here? And I'm just like, first of all, I was surprised they were even talking. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing talking to me? And there was a lady in the lift already. And so I was like, oh, I'm here for a podcast. And he's like, oh, what's that like? And she's like, a pot. And then the lady sitting next to me said, oh, a podcast? That's very interesting. What's your podcast called? And I can immediately tell that she would not like the podcast.
You just looked her up and down and thought, no, you will not know this information
It
about
was just
me.
a vibe thing, and that's one of my talents. As an X-Men, actually, in the Logan movie, my talent is that I can tell if someone is a cumboy or not.
She was not.
Yeah, she's not. The guy that called all the JCCs with the bomb threats, probably. Probably a cumboy.
So like you're thinking, you're like, okay, don't want to tell her my podcast.
So I was like,
so you're like,
so she's like, what's it
play
called?
it safe.
I was like, it's comedy. That was my response, right? Because I wasn't trying to necessarily engage.
Nice touch.
Nice touch. It's
Yeah.
comedy. So, whatever. So then she's like, yeah, I got a podcast myself. It's a political podcast. And so in order to change the subject from comedy into safer water, from what I understood, like book reading ass water, I was like, oh shit, my friends have a political podcast too. That's crazy. I think it's like I think people like it.
See, this is why I'm not really that sympathetic, because if she'd said, "Oh, I have a political podcast too," or "I have a political podcast," I would have said, "That's cool."
Yeah, I should have shut up, and I should have not said anything.
Yeah, but you don't do that.
But I don't do that because I'm my father and I'm 30 and okay. But so I was like, oh, my friends have one. She's like, what's it called? And I'm like, it's called Chop Trap House. It's like, and then the second I said that,
Just the steel shutter is just
blood
slammed down.
rushing out of her face, and she's like, no. So I was like, what? They like, I was about to say like, they like plan out what they're gonna say before the show and stuff. It's pretty good. Because that's like my bar on what makes a good podcast, not just like me and Sav and Nick just call. So she said, so I said, really? She was like that. I was surprised she wouldn't like it. I don't know. And she's like, yeah, they're horrible people. And I'm like, well, I just said to you they were my friends. And so I was like, no, I think they're pretty nice. They're my pals. I don't think they're bad people at all. So she was really the only person in the lift making any accusations about anyone's character or anything like that.
It's true. She could have just stopped
She
it.
could have just stopped there and said, oh, yeah, I heard of it. Sorry.
But she persisted.
But she persisted against all odds. She said, yeah, they oftentimes will conduct coordinated harassment campaigns of women and POCs. So then I said, have you listened to Chop? Like, I don't think that's what that is. And she started getting really upset because really the way the conversation happened was she'd make a statement and then I'd ask a question because I was like sort of
that's a mistake.
See, that's called sea
interviewing
lion.
her.
That's sea lion.
It's called sea lion.
And she's not there to do emotional
I was
labor
just
for
trying
you.
Is
to
that what sea
understand.
lining is?
Yeah, that's a sea lion.
It's basically asking any kind of follow up on any statement.
But
about
isn't that
anything.
what, like, these women with the, with the candles and the sheets, isn't that what they want men to do, is ask them questions?
Not randos. I don't think they want randos to ever ask them questions.
They don't.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't want.
I saw a lady with a mattress.
But a
interrogate her
rando
point of
is
view.
just a guy you haven't fucked yet.
That's a good attitude to take.
So I was just confused why she thought that. Like, I just sort of wanted to know.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, first of all, I think that's kind of weird because, I have a female friend that's on their podcast.
Hashtag not your shield.
And yeah, so then she was like, yeah, one. And I was like, okay, I don't know. And then I was like, well, that's kind of like, aren't you just like, by saying that all these people are white men, aren't you just acting like you're erasing the identities of all the women and POCs?
Why were you
on the left?
having this argument?
Dude.
Why?
I just
He's had a mistake for engaging in this, man. At this point, I don't even feel bad because he's just doing it to himself. He just needs the. He's just looking for a a verbal sparring session with this chick, man. Yeah, this conversation could have ended long ago, but yeah, he kept it going, man. You have to use the conversation stoppers. Is what I'm going to call them, conversation stoppers, man. Short answers. Don't engage. Don't look at someone. Just give them short answers. Let them know. Give them nonverbal cues that you're not interested in talking to them, man. But he's entertaining this, so it's all him, man. It's up to him.
Tweets in the back of a Lyft. Why were you exchanging tweets?
I don't know. I don't know why I engaged, but she seemed to be very upset, and I was kind of having fun. I was bored at that point. I wasn't harassing, but I was interested in seeing where it was going. Anyway, point is, it sort of gets on the subject of Sadie Doyle, and I said, well, I think that she's kind of unhinged,
Sexist.
right? She's like tweeted at my friend like for like 3 days on end, and like, my friend was just responding with pictures of Dr. Evil that said ride. I didn't say that, but I was like,
God, he was like a brick wall. He was magnificent.
oh, that was
One of
beautiful.
Nick's finest performances.
Yeah, that was really.
It
that was
blows me away that
virtuoso.
that didn't become a.
I bet Nick has been in some Twitter wars, man. Some Twitter wars that he's won too, man.
Deflecting someone or trolling someone because
yeah.
it's so perfect.
Oh, it was incredible. Anyway, I didn't say that about Nick, but I was like, I know she's like tweeted at friends of mine for like days on end, like every 20 minutes.
And has actually done coordinated campaigns to get people fired from their job.
That's
which is
what I
something
said.
we've never done.
Right. She's like gotten people fired, like, and, limited their ability to earn a living. Like, I think. And so she said, after that whole thing, I said, her only response was unhinged. Unhinged. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's unhinged. And she's like, you see, you don't get it. You really don't get it. Like, that's exactly the point that I'm making of like how basically she's a genius and I'm a dumb idiot and a dummy dum-dum. And I don't get my misogyny. But, obviously, I think.
And did you respond extremely
she was
well
just
to
saying
that and
that- no,
immediately
she
pick
was-
up the bell hooks?
No, she was saying that that's a gendered term, and that later on she tweeted about it. She claimed that I called women unhinged, not one particular person that is potentially, I don't want to sound ableist, but unhinged.
Adam in the back of the car. We just got to get rid of women. I can't stand the fucking complaining.
I mean, granted, I was dressed and in my Andrew Dice Clay t-shirt. I was wearing my Dice Man Cometh t-shirt, and I was
Get rid of the broads.
I was smoking a cigarette straight
Around
in their
your head.
face. Yeah,
And
no.
Hickory
also,
dickory
Anyway,
dock.
wearing-
Sadie can suck my cock.
So the
also
question.
wearing a mystery hat.
So I was just trying to ask her. So the last part was I was just trying to ask her, like, isn't it sexist to deny that women didn't like Hillary? Like, to deny that.
Dude,
Oh.
And,
What?
and
What
in
are
her
you
face.
doing?
and so then she starts going.
this is a person who has crafted a elaborate
I didn't know who it
mind
was.
castle world where Hillary is president.
You don't wake up a sleepwalker, Adam. You never wake up a
Adam,
sleepwalker.
This is like if you see 3 people in matching jumpsuits and the same Nikes, and you're like, "What? You can't get on a comet by killing yourself." You know that, right?
I was defending your honor, guys. Anyway, so she, in the middle of like my question that I was sitting on, she just starts going, "This conversation is over. This conversation is over." And I was like, "But I just no."
That's
It was
actual
done,
assault.
right? So then I'm like,
I think Adam was just having fun here. Because, yeah, I think he just kept it going. Deliberately kept it going. This awful interaction with this person. He wasn't trapped in this case. He he wanted to do this, man. He was having fun. Good for him, man. At least he had fun tormenting this person.
There in silence, and
Cool.
the cab driver's like looking at me, and he's like just mouthing like, "What the fuck?" Because like so then I feel bad. It's quiet. I feel like I got in like some sort of like argument in a relationship, and that we're taking like a quiet, like silent car ride together, and another 10 minutes in the car with this lady. So I was just like, I just like broke the silence by saying like, listen, like, I didn't wake up this morning.
Whenever I do this thing, when I look at like what's on screen right now, this image of these two women, yeah, this is something I do with everything. Whenever I see an image or a picture, I try to focus on it, like to ultra focus on it, and like look into someone's eyes and just look at their face and try to picture what their lives are like, or what they're feeling, or what they're hiding, or how they truly feel about stuff, not about anything in particular. Like I look at these chicks right here, and in my mind I'm looking at her face, like as if I'm trying to see inside their brain, like look deeper, and sometimes I come to conclusion that, damn, this person is really sad, or this person is really lonely, or this person is like, when someone is speaking, it's hard to catch, but when you pause when someone is speaking, and you're left with a still image on your screen, and you just look at them and you just come up with a theory about them. Probably sick, man.
Morning, trying to. I see you're upset, and like I didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
You're
and I
asking
feel
for mercy. That is the worst thing.
I know, because I was on the right side of history. But anyway, so I was like, listen, I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry. I can see you're upset, and I'm not like an asshole. And I don't want to like wake up and just mess with people that I don't know and make them upset. And I think I'm a pretty nice person, actually.
Oh, no.
And so then she goes,
guy.
I didn't know that you can't say that you're nice. I didn't know that's
You didn't
against
get the press
rules.
release.
I didn't get the press release from Chelsea Clinton that I'm not allowed to say that. And so then she's like, exactly, a nice guy. When I said person, but she was like, a nice guy.
She's the one gendering you.
She's like, you're a nice guy. Like, you honestly, it was like in the tone of, you're too stupid to ever get woke. And like, you'll never be on my level. You're just a coordinated, harassing, brocialist piece of shit. I mean, she obviously, that was just the tone of all of it. The last part, right, of the story is like, so she rejects my apology. We're sitting in a silent cab, and the driver feels really awkward. So he just goes to me, like, after another 5 minutes of silence, he goes, so what's your experience with Rideshare? Which was the first question.
I've never met someone like this in my life, man. Someone who was so confrontational about my opinions about issues. I don't think I've met someone like this before, but if I did, and someone came at me like this, I think I would just try my best to piss them off as much as possible. Whenever someone confronts me about anything, and it's happened before about other things, I've just never met someone like this. But of course, I've been confronted by people before about stuff, and my defense mechanism in that situation is usually not to try and make an educated, well thought out, intelligent answer. My reaction is usually to just piss them off more. Like in a situation like this, if she's like, oh, you're just saying that because she's a woman, My answer would probably be yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Not because I believe it, or not because that's actually why I'm doing it, but because I want to fucking annoy you even more. That's what I do, you know? Oh, you're saying this because of this. I'm like, yeah. Oh, you're just a piece of shit. You're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, that's what I am. You know, try to become the monster that she's trying to paint you out to be, and see how someone, like, how they deal with it then, you know? You're painting me out to be this monster. Well, guess fucking what? You're right, I am. Now what? You know? Like, I care, man. Fuck you.
Are you sure this wasn't a malfunctioning Johnny Cab?
So I was
Total
like-
Recall?
So I was like, honestly, I don't really take. I live in New York. I don't really take Lyft or Uber that much, but I'm taking Uber this week because it's very cheap in LA, and it's much more expensive in New York. And he goes to me, well, we're not in Uber, we're in Lyft. And I'm like, oh, I just call them all Uber. But actually, I deleted Uber. And then I looked at her. Oh, no. This was my Larry David moment. This is like, God. I couldn't stop myself. We were like pulling up to the place I needed to go. I couldn't stop myself because I knew this would just infuriate her. But I just said, actually, I deleted Uber because the CEO is sexist to women.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I wish we had dashboard cam footage of her right after you left. Like literal steam shooting out of her ears.
That was a more awkward cab ride than fucking Travis Bickle and Martin Scorsese in Taxi Driver. You know who lives in that apartment? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton lives in that apartment. It's not the White House, though. You know who's in there? You're going to laugh at this.
Well, look, actually, for the future, you don't need to defend us at all, ever, especially
I
not
don't even
in
need
person.
to mention you, really.
Just enjoy the show and know that it's not
Imagine
for everyone.
if I said come town. But yeah, so she then said, so then I was like nervous because some of the fans said they found the tweets. And I was like, they were like, oh, should we tell other people? And I was like, no. And then I guess that people found out. It's public speech. People found it. Whatever. I don't want to.
Yeah, she went on a tweet storm.
She went on a
about
tweet
you.
storm. And I was like nervous because I was like, I don't know. I don't want this person to get harassed. I don't want to prove her point, you know? Like, and so.
Yo, shout out to whoever found these messages, man. Not messages, these tweets, man. Because, yeah. Good detective work on your part, man. Shout out to whoever found them.
The Cum Nation. There's so much love in Cum Nation. The fans. One of them responded to the one like the serious "women don't give me the time of day" vibes tweet, and posted a picture of me and Stav kissing and said, "Actually, he's in a happy, loving relationship." And someone's like,
"That's great."
Someone's like, "Actually, you harassed a queer Jewish youth." Which is like, I think that's positive.
The best way to respond.
Yeah, I think that's positive. You know, like I didn't think that this was like a big podcaster person, but she's got like a following. You know, like, and she got like a response on Twitter. Yeah, it was really weird, and I didn't think that anyone would find out who it was or that she would have been tweeting about me. But I guess while she was sitting there angry, she was dragging me for her high sweeties online.
You think we get Kim Jong-un fired?
Yeah,
you know,
we we'll go find old
campaign.
tweets of his.
Yeah. That's the secret, guys. Why don't we just do that to Putin too? Fucking, we solved it, dude.
Yeah,
dude. If Sadie beats North Korea, that'd be so cool.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta be careful with those coordinated harassment campaigns coming out of your mouth, dude.
Yeah, I know. Dude. I've already made 2 in the last 2 weeks.
You've made some powerful enemies.
So when is that Chapo out with
It's out, yeah.
Talking about what's her name?
It's the same story I told on Cumtown.
Sarah Lerner.
Yeah, I can't believe she did the Hillary account. That shit sucks so bad.
You know, her middle name is That'll.
You guys always
punch her in the
say
face.
when I
Would you shut the fuck up and just let that joke hit? Jesus Christ.
all right, say your joke.
Sarah, that'll learn her. That's very funny.
Yeah, that's good. I'm sorry, sir.
Instead of telling the story for the third time.
No, I'm just saying.
Let people riff for once. No, I just want to say the boys out.
What other podcast are you going to try and weasel your way into socially?
Too Many
first?
White Guys?
Huh?
Too Many White Guys. The Hellbent podcast.
Yeah. You should get married to Sarah Lerner.
I'm not after I get married.
Yo, how long ago was this, man? Let me see. Let me go back and see the title of the...
Would you shut the fuck up and just let that joke hit? Jesus Christ. For once. No, I just want to say
the boys
out.
What other podcast are you going to try and weasel your way?
This was 2017. Okay. It's actually quite a while ago, man.
Way into socially
Too Many
first.
White Guys?
Huh?
Too Many White Guys. The Hellbent podcast.
Yeah. You should get married to Sarah Lerner.
I'm not after I get married to Phoebe. What's her name?
Phoebe Robinson.
Can you imagine the poor fuck that's gonna have to marry that woman?
Sarah Lerner?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
so
my wife, I mean, is doing a podcast. And that's,
Ooh, this is a way to get around being mean about Dick Field. We'll just call him her husband.
I don't know who you're talking about. I'm doing Sarah Lerner's husband. Hello, everybody. It's me, a completely new character.
Hey guys, we found a loophole. Hey guys, back.
Hey guys, my name is Seth Lerner. I took her last name. And
We don't have to say what his original name was.
I can't even remember what my last name was before I met my wife.
Anyway, I used to do stand-up comedy in New York.
Sarah told me it would be better if I quit comedy for the family. The family is just us, but she was worried it might take attention away from the podcast.
Well, it's them and of course some dog that they do too much content for.
I'm a stay-at-home dog daddy.
Yeah, I'm a doggy
My
daddy.
responsibilities are taking pictures of the dog when it looks grumpy. And then also paying all of the bills by working in a cheese shop.
I'm giving a keynote at the Women in Comedy, Los Angeles Women in Comedy, or Podcasting Festival. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah. It's me, Hellbent.
How to be the worst part of a podcast?
Yeah.
Is that your your speech?
It's just be insulted every time you open your mouth. Just be constantly.
We're calling Donald Trump a literal fuck baby on today's episode. You gotta say this guy's a motherfucking fucking trash scum. And that's how you fucking resist.
Garbage person.
You fucking literal human crap shit. It really is. I mean, I know I've said it before, but it's the fucking like dumbass millennial version of like, you know, khaki pants pulled up, milquetoast white dudes that never learned how to curse.
Mm-hmm.
So they lose their temper and just do that, you fuck ass.
Yeah.
Listen to me, you shit. You son of a shit. I've been a customer here for fuck years.
Damn. We should fucking punch them in the head with
Yeah.
our big fists.
Hell yeah, dude. I love fighting women.
Well,
It'll
we
be a
could
fair
pay
fight.
$75 to have them hang out with us on Skype.
Is that part of the Patreon?
It's on their
level?
Patreon, yeah. The dopest part, the dopest thing would be if he had a heart attack and died. Like,
Yeah, I guess.
the
yeah.
Mueller thing goes on for like 2 years. They have absolutely nothing to go on. It's pretty clear if they had something to go on, it would have happened already. And
I think someone.
It would be cool if he died, Adam.
and then he just dies.
Oh, you want to call him a motherfucking shit-ass shit-fuck? Hellbent podcast.
That's really gonna take him down. Folks.
Yeah.
He's
Cumtown calls him a retard. How funny it would be if he does. He's like, he hears it somehow and then he kills himself, and then everybody has to apologize to me. The one
It's like the
comedian
scene
that
at the
made-
end of Star Wars where they're giving us like sashes.
Yeah.
The Ewoks are dead. We beat Trump by calling him retarded.
Can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, those Hellbent girls have to like, you know, I don't know,
Suck our
burn all their
dick.
podcasting equipment
Mm-hmm.
because they call them a literal fucked shit.
But they can't
Literal
say
human
retarded.
scum
Is that-
crap.
Well, that was good, man. That was really, really good. Interesting. A lot of content came out of this one interaction that Adam had with this lady, man. And that's good, man. That's good. At least get some content out of it, you know. Perhaps that's why Adam kept the conversation going, so that, you know, he could get content out of it, you know. But this was funny. Some bits are funny, some bits are like, what the fuck, you know. Him describing the conversation in the car, in the lift. You know, I don't know. Once you attach yourself to a certain identity and agenda in life, it really becomes you, man. It really does become you. I don't think I feel. I don't have anything in my life that I feel like super strongly about, man. Like some people become feminists, some people become you know, animal rights. Some people attach themselves to a certain mission in their lives and they become that completely. Maybe I just haven't found mine yet because I don't feel that strongly about anything yet in my life, you know. It's probably sad. But yeah, fuck it. I don't care. Yeah. That's that, man. Adam's lifted the Feminist podcast. Shout out to whoever found her, man. You know, glad this was real life. You know. Yeah, like, subscribe, share if you enjoyed it. I hope you did. I definitely did. And I will see you guys in the next one, man. Peace out.